Herb Lair as we close out 2024. 2025 is going to be a big year. Okay, we got President Trump coming in, but we also have the National Plan to End Parkinson's Act being in, I guess it's been enacted as far as the presidential signature on it, but it's going to come in, and I was wanting to kind of show that there's been kind of more of a sound of silence about that. I don't know whether everybody thinks it's going to end up in research or whatever, but I'm hoping to build interest in my podcast because I try to do a lot of things that are entertaining to a level, and in my selection of guests, but also educational and motivational. And I try to make that point every time I start a podcast because I want to reach a lot of people. Some of the people I want to reach, of course, is pretty much a broad base of people who experience, obviously the normal things of depression and anxiety and somewhat delusional. Occasionally I get on to the political end of it because there are concerns I have. I got Parkinson's, of course, and some other things that go along with that, or maybe not necessarily with other people, but I do experience some other things because I do have a pacemaker, an AFib, and a lot of issues. I've had a spinal cord stimulator, so I've gone down the whole 9 yards of everything that you can try to improve. And one of the things that you'll find real quickly about Parkinson's is that people who sit and don't do anything have a history of going down very fast. I just put the book there in the background, but you could see right off that A Son's Journey talks about his mother having Parkinson's and why she might have gone down faster than others and his disappointment. But he also talks about being a person that, he's a caregiver and now he's an advocate. So I think that's a great story that I want to touch on a little bit again. And again, that's Dr. George Ackerman. And he has a PhD, and he's also an attorney, and he's passed the bar, and he lives in Florida. So he's got a lot of credentials that can show you some of the things that people are faced with. I've also kind of pointed out, as we've kind of gotten into the new, as far as the new year and getting into the new year and the inauguration, and I think you'll be surprised that I show you some text that show how much they appreciate my support as far as the Trump people, I guess. And I don't know where that all came from, but I do have a lot of concern for the people he is selecting for his cabinet. Unfortunately, he has not moved on like a lot of people had hoped, and he has kind of stayed with the idea of retribution and how much he can do to damage and hurt people. That being said, I'm concerned more about the social programs at this stage. As a businessman, I'm sure I'd be more concerned about the other stages of the economics. But what I'm seeing here is that, when you have Elon Musk, which I have a great regard for what he has done, and I've commented about the fact that he could probably save a lot of money on the government program that's trying to get broadband to the rural market. He's been virtually left out at times when states talk about spending billions, and I've always said that would probably be a solution. Now, people get confused at the speed he provides. It's an adequate speed. It's a great speed from the satellite, but it's not anything close to broadband, but it's not necessarily needed in the rural areas. And I've commented that the real driver of the broadband is going to be telemedicine, telehealth in a lot of sense. And I understand that, getting information out to people and being able to react and be measured by some of the things that they're doing. So other than the fact that when you start looking at Elon Musk, he's pretty much a, throw the baby out with a bathwater type solution, which means that he's willing to do a lot of artificial intelligence. And again, I'll match my credentials on artificial intelligence and Internet of Things and all the other smart homes, smart vehicles, and smart whatever with anybody out there. I think I've done as much or more, and I think you can find it if you go to my LinkedIn. Just go there and look at my what I've done and what I've been paid to do. So it's not something I've done as a hobby. And the other is, the fact that he and his plans there are going to have to be a lot of things that could be very damaging before they're very helpful if you're trying to, cut money, like he said, up to $2 trillion on a budget. And the only place he can cut the budget is probably in the Medicare, Medicaid, and other areas. Again, having a daughter with special needs and a wife with, cancer. I'm not sure, as far as myself, I'm 80-year-old. I think I can handle whatever that's thrown at me. But I think it's really could be a real serious situation. I kind of joke that at this stage, I think it's going to be proven that, that Trump and myself are the only sane people, and all the rest of the people have, I guess, what I would consider a version of Parkinson's, where they're delusional because they think that, or they thought that Mexico was going to pay for the wall, and now they think that these tariffs that's going to be out there are going to be something damaging to Mexico and Canada, whereas if we need products, it's going to cost more for the American people. And I think that if you bought into the idea that Mexico is going to build the wall, then you probably are building in, you're thinking that's going to happen. Well, it's not. And, you can believe what you want to on that, but the obvious there. And getting all the I guess, illegal aliens, and I'm not sure what that involves cost-wise. It looks like it could cost a lot of money. It's going to be amazing what that and how that impacts our agricultural business, whether it's Tyson's or whether people out in California that's out there that raise a lot of fruits and vegetables and other places, and then also some of that labor that's hired. And just I can see a lot in communities where I don't know whether they're legal, illegal, or not, but there are a lot of those people that are taking the place of people who don't want to do that kind of work. And you can say what you want, but I've seen it on golf courses. I've seen it in yards or putting roofs on buildings, and a lot of others where I would kind of question whether they're legal or illegal. But it'll be amazing what cost will increase there. And then if you get into social programs, you start cutting there. It's great to be against abortion, which I am, but you got to be willing to consider the cost. If you have unwanted kids and they are taken to their adult stage, there's a lot of expense there. And I wanted to make that comment because I'm probably one of the people that can make comment about, I've had a child with disabilities, and I've gone through all the stages of trying to get her work and her being put on several job opportunities, and she's got to get a job, and they see her credentials. She's gone to a community college and got a lot of great credentials, but once she gets into the workforce, they see her appearance, and they sometimes think, well, it looks like Down syndrome, and they don't really spend the time to understand the difference between orofacial digital and that, and having mild retardation. And so we've gone through that. I mean, I've gone through all the legal aspects of it and tried to get it settled. But the only thing is that there's a reason to have money involved if you do that, And I tried to stay away from, doing that, although it'd probably been a better plan. But then she is putting on programs in order to survive and live that she has to use, and I don't know where that's going. It's kind of bad when you're cleared out of the workforce just because people don't like your appearance, and then you're put into this program, and you're kind of wondering what's going to happen with the our benefits that are out there, and medical benefits are a big thing. So what goes on there. But I can go on and on. I'm going to clip this in with a lot of things that I want to make sure that I have a great understanding of people I've talked to, people who have either parents or family with Parkinson's. And you can see what I'm trying to do with this podcast is to make sure that we can develop, get the subscribers. The only thing you have to do is free, is to subscribe. And that helps me with the demographics to take to advertisers and sponsors. And I hope to get that in place as we go into 2025. I've got a lot of great people I've worked with, a lot of things that are actually free and won't be the cost of the millions and trillions and billions that the government's going to pour into this, and not really get the effects that I can provide through my podcast and through the contacts I've developed.